Ananda Nityananda Raya Yoga Paramananda Nityananda Raya Paramananda Nityananda Abhimanya Dunya Nikaya
the anti, but.
I got you.
Gaura Duji Pada, page 74 in the Sierra book.
Oh, what happened to my cushion? I have no idea.
Vande Vishwam Bharaparakama.
Had this in my head all day. Of course.
What page?
339.
Which page?
339.
339.
Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone to this festival in honor of the appearance of Sri Sachinandan Gauri. Paripavana Paramadaya Premadata Padmavati Kumar Sri Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai. Prema Purushottama Sachinandan Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki Jai. Nitai Gauri Sri Dhanath Premanande. Vande by the mercy of Sri Sri Gaura Nitai, now we remember the lotus feet of Sri Sri Kishore Kishori Ju, Sri Sri Radha Krishna in Vrindavan. Anupama Madhuri Chori. What page is it?
Three, six, four.
Okay.
364.
What page again?
364.
Hare Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai, Hare Shaniwar ki jai, Vishwabanu Raj Kumari Ju ki jai, Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Madhuri Juhuri Hamare Sham Shamaki Gaura Purnima. Welcome everyone to this Gaura Purnima retreat. We're beginning to celebrate Gaura Purnima already. A few days before. Many of you are staying on site here in the some Kunja Bhavan, in a beautiful cottage in the forest here of Vrindavan. So those who are participating in this festival from Mangalatik in the morning till late at night every day, I humbly request, please forget about the outside world completely. No contact at all with the outside world. If it's burning, let it burn.
That's right.
Now we are here at this festival. We want to attain avesh, absorption. How does bhav, transcendental emotion, appear in the heart? Sadhana biniveshaja bhav. When the devotee is absorbed in sadhana completely, without vikshepa, without any distraction at all, then, although actually our sadhana is ineffective and cannot produce any results, but it is like a begging bowl. If a beggar holds out his bowl, then it doesn't guarantee that he'll receive any food. But if he will hold out the bowl and cry, someone may take pity on him and give something. So our sadhana is like this. We're only kripalesha prarti, begging for a trace of Sri Krishna's mercy. Begging for the mercy of Guru and Gauranga. Then in that sadhana kal, that state of absorption in sadhana, our begging, then Sri Guru and Krishna may be merciful to us and make the prakash, internal illumination of the divine reality which is beyond our limitations, beyond our mind and senses. So this festival is a golden opportunity. Namaste Manam Vishuti Putra Patra Surupam Rupam Tasya Kachauri Purim Maturim Radha Kunda Magivaram Ahoradika Advasam Pratoyas Pratita Kripaya Shri Guru Tam Natosmi Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Kadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namah Ananda Leelamaya Vigrahaya Vema Bhadivyaschave Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Bhaktya Vihima Aparada Lakshe Chiltasya Kamarika Rangamari Vigamayikam Sharanam Prabhaya Vinde Namaste Sharanarvindam Vinde Namaste Sharanarvindam Govinda Damodara Madhavendra Govinda Damodara Madhavendra Govinda Damodara Madhavendra Govinda Damodara Madhavendra Hare Krishna Hare Rama Krishna Hare Govinda Damodara Madhavendra Sham Sundar Shikanda Shikar Smarha Smrali Manoya Radhikara Sukamama Kriponidhe Supriya Charna King Kurin Kuru Tuvailasmi Najulami Tayavana Iti Vidyayo Devi Tam Mayamam Charanantikam. First of all, I have my Sastang Dandavat Puspanji, my heart like flowers thousands of times at the lotus feet of my holy master, my supremely worshipable spiritual Gurudev, Asmatiya Paramaradhatama Guru Pada Padma, Nityalila Vishnu Om Vishnu Pada Ashtotara Saptasri Rupanuga Acharya Varya Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Secondly, I have my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Param Gurudev, to Srila Prabhupada, and to all of our Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Parampara. And finally, I have my pranam to all my dear brothers and sisters and uncles and all senior Vaishnavas. My pranam.
Shri Prem Prabhu ki
Jai!
By the closest mercy of Sri Gurang Gauranga, today we are celebrating the Virah Mahotsav, Separation Festival, Tirubhakti, the Disappearance Festival of Srila Madhavendra Puri Pada ki
Jai!
Krishna Priya Didi ki jai, Radha Shyam Prabhu ki jai.
Jai!
Yes, yes, give a call to Krishna Prabhu. Krishna Prabhu ki jai. Mukunda Prabhu ki jai. Bhumipati Prabhu ki jai. Ramdas Prabhu ki jai. Yeah, who's there at the back? Oh, Satyaraj Prabhu ki jai.
His lovely wife, Brenda.
We ran out of garlands because there's so many senior people.
I can give. Don't we have any more? We have some here, but please Prabhupada should keep his stuff in the end. I'm so overjoyed. I think only it's the mercy of my Gurudev that he sent so many senior devotees who are fit to keep their feet on my head to come here and protect me on all sides. So I'm blessed today with the darshan of so many senior Vaishnavas. So today is the disappearance day of Srila Madhavendra Puripad. It is a momentous occasion, a momentous spiritual occasion. Srila Vrindavan Thakur, he has said, Ishwarera Janma Titi Jehi no Pavitra Vaishnavera Saimata Titira Charitra. The meaning is that just as the birthday of Krishna, Janmashtami, is glorious and filled with divine qualities, purifying. So Vaishnavera Saimata Titira Charitra, in the same way, not less. In fact, Sri Krishna has said, Mad Bhakta Puja Vyadika, the worship of my devotee is superior to my own worship. So not less. That is the glory and the purifying power of the appearance and disappearance days of Vaishnavas. So we should not entertain in our mind, even for a moment, that this moment today is anything less than Janmashtami or Radhastami or Gaura Purnima or Nrsimha Chaturdasi. And if we honor Sri Krishna's near and dear devotees in this way, then Sri Krishna will be more pleased. The glories of Vaishnavas, they're beyond the understanding of even great scholars in this world. Vaishnavera kriya mudra vigna na bujai. Vajrad api kathorani mriduni kusumadapi lokotaranam chaitanksi kono vigyatum ishvara. In Shastra it is said that the pure Vaishnavas, they are harder than a thunderbolt. Means they have not even a scent of sentimentality towards the worldly atmosphere. They cannot be allured even by Satvik Daya. You know, Bharat Maharaj, he felt sorry for a deer who was drowning in the river. And he became attached. So those lokotranam chetaksi, those whose chitta, whose consciousness is lokotra, completely beyond this world, they cannot be allured. Someone may say, oh, this person is very harsh. He has no feeling. He's like a stone. Just like when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he left Navadvip Dham, everyone was crying. But he didn't look back. That was his first sannyas. His Dutya sannyas, his second sannyas was when Lord Jagannath, after the Snan Yatra, then there's no darshan of Lord Jagannath for 15 days. So he'd already given up all of his Navadvip associates, and then at this time he also gives up all of his Puri associates. And alone he goes to Amarnath. Everyone is heartbroken, but he leaves without looking back. So Lokotranam Chaitaksi, those whose consciousness is beyond this world, they sometimes appear to be harder than a thunderbolt. But the truth of the matter is, Mriduni Kushamadapi, they're actually softer than a flower. Very kind. Even their chastisement. It may seem harsh, but it's pure mercy. So Madhavendra Puri is such a divine personality. Very difficult to understand his heart. Srila Rupa Goswami Pad has glorified the Vaishnavas. He said, Apraksha klamam atmani vidadati pritya paresha paran lajante durituttamadapi nijastotrannubandadapi vidyavit kulari vistayadami yanti kramam namratam ramya kapi satam niyam vijayate naisagiki prakriya. Rupa Goswami, he was about to perform a drama. He came onto the stage and he looked at all the beautiful Vaishnavas who had gathered in the audience. And he was amazed. Oh, how wonderful are the Vaishnavas. Vijayate Naisagiki Prakriya. Oh, glories to them. Ramya. They are so enchanting that it is their natural characteristic. It is their nature that even when they are serving more and more, and they're physically completely exhausted, but they never think about their own happiness or comfort. They're only thinking at that time, with love, can I help others? How can I please others? How can I bring others out of suffering? This is the natural. It is completely natural. It is naisagiki. Lajjante turitujjamadapi nijastotrannubandadapi. If a person in this world has a hridaya durbalya, weakness of heart, and because of that, they have some bad habits, so they engage in some adharma secretly. Nobody knows, without anyone seeing. They do some adharma. But then one day, if it's discovered, oh, this person is misbehaving, then they become ashamed. Lajjante. They become so ashamed. So in the same way as an ordinary person becomes ashamed when his misbehavior is unveiled to the public, in the same way, it is the nature of pure devotees that they feel like that when someone glorifies them. We cannot see, but we're looking into the heart of Srila Madhavendra Puri, into the heart of pure Vaishnavas. They feel like that ashamed when someone glorifies them. Why? Because they know, Yat vibhuti mat sattam srimad urjitam eva va tam tamavaiti gachatvam mamate jangsha sambhavam. Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, whatever is beautiful, whatever is glorious, whatever is charming, all of these things, they are just a angsa, just a small particle of my splendor. So pure Vaishnava knows whatever qualities he has, these are not my qualities. Only Krishna is manifesting something, and others are blaming me for this. So he becomes ashamed. Vidya vit kuladi vista yadami yanti kramam namratam. Rupa Goswami Pad saying, the Vaishnavas are so wonderful that we see in this world that if someone gets a very advanced education, their master's degrees and PhDs, they become honored professor. And the more learned they become, then they think, yes, I am very learned. I am expert in my field. Vidya, Vita. Then it's very hard. Someone who has a material knowledge, it's very difficult for them to hear transcendental knowledge. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said the material knowledge is the Maya Prabhav, the influence of the material energy. Very powerful. And turns a living entity into a car, into a donkey. He thinks he's very intelligent. But really, he does not eat kene ame, ke ame kene mai chari tapatrai. like Sanatana Goswami Pad said. Apanara hita kichuna jani, gramya vyavahara pandit thai satyamani. Actually, I don't know what is beneficial for me and what is detrimental for me. But in the society, everyone calls me a pandit. Oh, you're a pandit. And I'm so foolish. I know that I believe that. Yes, I'm a pandit. But what kind of pandit am I? Kayami kaniyamai jaritabatai. Who am I? I don't know who I am. If you go anywhere, you have to fill in a form, then the first thing is name. Do you know the name of your soul? Then how can we be a learned person if we don't know our eternal spiritual identity? So, vidya, vita, kuladi, vita, money. When persons get money, it is so bewildering, so intoxicating. Nityati dena vittena mityunena. Sri Krishna said, in the Navayogendra Samvad, you should think that money is mrityu, death personified. Because for this money you have to spend so much time making it, protecting it, increasing it. But what is the value of one day in your life? One day passes, it will never come back. And at the last moment of your life, when someone is about to pass away, no one thinks, oh no, I wish I'd spent more time in the office. Why? For this money. And all these things, the happiness and distress of this world is coming by itself anyway. Tasyaiva hetu prayatita kovido nalabhite yad brahmatamuparida talabhite dukha nanikta sukham kalena sarvatra gambhira ramasa. Narad Rishi told Vyasadeva, persons who are actually intelligent and philosophically inclined will endeavor only for that purposeful end, which cannot be found by wandering from the top to the bottom of the universe. An intelligent person will endeavor to attain Krishna's eternal service. As far as happiness in this world is concerned, just as suffering comes without any attempt, no one tries to get suffering, but it comes anyway. So in the same way, happiness comes by itself, by the subtle movements of time in accordance with the prarabdha karma, the fruit of previous activities. So, generally, persons who become involved in money, they become very bewildered. They cannot understand spiritual life. Kuladivi, those of kula means in a high dynasty. Sometimes a person is born in a very aristocratic family with all types of privileges. It's very difficult for them to become humble. But here, Srila Sanatana Goswami Pad said, the nature of the Vaishnava is such that as his knowledge is increasing, he becomes more and more humble. If money, wealth and everything is coming to him, the more comes, the more humble he becomes. If he is from an aristocratic dynasty, he's cool. Then, if he's Vaishnava, he's very humble. Or if he has a kul himself, that means his dynasty, his disciples. If he has 10 disciples, he becomes humble. If he has 100 disciples, he becomes more humble. If he has 1,000 disciples, he becomes more humble. So Srila Rupa Goswami Pad is describing, oh, how beautiful is the heart of a pure Vaishnava. It does not follow the conventions that we are acquainted with in this physical realm. So, Srila Madhavendra Puri, his history was described by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. After Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had accepted the renounced order of life in Katwa, and then he went to Shantipur, and then from there, on the request of Sachi Mata, he set off for Jagannath Puri rather than Vrindavan, because Jagannath Puri and Navadvipa are like 2 rooms in the same house. She wanted that he would be nearby and she could get news. So Mahaprabhu agreed, and he was on his way to Puri, and on the way, along with his associates, Nityananda Prabhu, Jagannath Pandit, Damodar Pandit, they arrived in Ramuna. And there, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he began to glorify his own Param Gurudev. Think of it. Think of your Param Guru. My Param Gurudev is Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami. So, there are many disciples of Srila Prabhupada here. Your Param Gurudev is Srila Bhakti Saraswati Thakur. So you think how you feel about your Param Gurudev. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is feeling such great pride in his heart. How wonderful, how kind is my Param Gurudev, Srila Madhavendra Puri, and he's glorifying him. He described how Srila Madhavendra Puri was quite old. He was about 75 when he became renounced. His guru was Lakshmipati Tirtha. So he was initiated during his Grihastha ashram, Lakshmipati Tirtha. And then later he took sannyas from a Puri, Vishnu Puri. So his name is not Madhavendra Tirtha, but Madhavendra Puri. So he was traveling and he came to Vrindavan. And there in Brajamandal, he was doing parikrama of Giraj Govardhan. I've just come directly from there, from Govardhan. So Govardhan is the very topmost place of the romantic pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So he was overjoyed to be there, especially he was sitting at Govinda Kund and he was chanting Harinam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. What is this now? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Yadi amar pratisneya thaki sabaka Krishna nama vyatirik nagai vaya. On the night before he accepted sannyas, very lovingly instructed his associates in Navadvip. Yadi amar pratisneya thaki sabaka. If you have sneha, if you have affection for me, then do this. Chant Hare Krishna and don't speak about anything else. Only Krishna Nam. Srila Bhakti Saraswati Thakur has explained the core of what Mahaprabhu wanted to express here. In the Upanishads in the Puranas it is said, Nama Chintamani Krishnas Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shutho Nitya Mukto Abhinatvam Nama Namino. The name of Sri Krishna is Chintamani, transcendental, wish-fulfilling jewel. Whatever is your seva abhilas, desire for service, Nam Prabhu will fulfill it. Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. The holy name is the embodiment of all rasa. It does not require us to superimpose any mental emotions onto the name. The name has everything. Purna Shuddho Nityamukto Vinatvam Nama Namino. Therefore, unless the consciousness is completely saturated with the holy name, one is guilty of so many faults. If the consciousness is not living always within the vibration of Sri Krishna's holy name, because the holy name is Purna, it is complete. If we are not absorbed in the holy name, we have the fault of Apurnata dosh. We are incomplete. Understand? Purna Shuddho. Because the holy name is a Shuddha, Vishuddha. Therefore, if we are not absorbed fully in the holy name, if we are absorbed in anything else, then we have a dosh, a fault. Ashuddhata dosh. The fault of being impure. Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto Nitya. If we are not absorbed fully in the holy names, Tannama Rupa Charitari Sukirtanano. Srila Prabhupada translated it so beautifully. The essence of all advice is one should engage in hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna's name, form, qualities, and pastimes 24 hours a day. This is the essence of all advice. So if one is not absorbed in the holy name fully, then he has because Nam is Nitya, eternal, then one has the fault of anityata. Living in the plane of temporary experience, kanda, which is broken into past, present, and future. Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto. The holy name, because the holy name is mukta, completely liberated. Only a person who is absorbed in the holy name is liberated. And one who is not absorbed in the holy name, he has the shrinkala bhadata dosh, the defect of being bound by the illusory energy of Maya. So abhinatvam nama namino means that the Nam has the quality of Swayam Namatva. It is directly Krishna himself. Nam is a Swayam Rupatva. The name is directly Krishna's Rup. Swayam Gunatva, directly Krishna's qualities. Swayam Lilatva, directly all of Krishna's Lila is in the name. It does not require the aid of our mental speculation. If one is in the shelter of the name, then the name reveals everything in a kram. Smrityo kramena rasana manasi niyojya, in a sequence. So the holy name is the extraordinary. If you analyze the name of Krishna, we're discussing this now. Why? We want to just zoom in for a moment. Madhavendra Puri is sitting on the bank of Govinda Kunda chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. But a conditioned soul should not make the mistake of thinking that he's chanting and Madhavendra Puri is chanting are similar. This is what we're discussing. So if we analyze the name of Krishna according to Yoga Ruddhi Vritti, that means a combination of etymology and the conventional meaning, Yoga Ruddhi Vritti. Then Krish. Krish means the existence, not a part of existence. Everything, the totality of everything. Vasudeva Sarvamiti. There's nothing outside of Krishna. And Krishna is Kashati, who is attractive, beauty, in whom all beauty resides. Not some beauty, all beauty. Since all beauty resides in Krishna, that means there is no beauty outside of Krishna. If you think there's some beauty outside of Krishna, then one is not hearing the name. The name has not pierced the covering of the ear yet. Krishna. Na means Ananda, joy. Not some joy, some remote joy somewhere else, on another planet, on the other side of the sky. All joy. All joy in all existence. There's no joy anywhere else. And if we have the conception that there's some joy other than that Krishna, then we have not heard the name yet. The name has not pierced the ear. The veil of the duality has not been shattered. So from the Yoga Ruddhi Vritti, the etymology of the name, we can understand that the name is asamanya, something extraordinary, aprakrita, supernatural, atindriya, beyond the limitations of human perception. But still, even making the etymological analysis, we have not yet experienced the name. The name is experienced in Vidvat Vritti Vritti. That is, when you hear any word, that sound goes in the ear and produces a vritti, some movement in the mind, some image, some picture appears, some concept. So Vidvat Vritti Vritti means what is experienced when a Vidvan, an enlightened pure devotee, hears the vibration Krishna, Hare Krishna. That is Vidvat Vritti Vritti. In Vidvat Vritti Vritti, the Advaita, it uncovers non-dual reality. So Srila Prabhupada explaining Mahaprabhu's final teaching to the devotees when he was leaving Navadvip about the holy name. Yadiyama pratisneya takiya sabaka. He said, you should examine the difference between the Vidvat Vritti Vritti, the actual experience of the name, beyond duality, and the Vidvat Vritti Vritti, that which is not Vidvat Vritti Vritti. In the name of Krishna, or not only in the name of Krishna, but in all words. So he explains that if you hear the sound of a word, and that word does the partakya stapana, it establishes that the word is referring to some object, and that object has partakya, it is separate from other things. In other words, the word isolates one object in your mind. If I say triangle, you just think of a triangle, it's just there in space with, right? It's separate from everything else. So that's how the material mind works, dealing with material sound. Partakya starpana, the establishment of isolation, separation from other things, and also within that object there is that is called binangsa avastit. There are different parts. Whatever the word is referring to itself, it's divisible into various parts. So this seems just so obvious because that's when we hear things just in the general life. We always take a word refers to something separate from everything else, and that object has divisible parts. It's obvious, it's almost as if it doesn't need to be stated. But it has to be stated to contrast it with when we hear transcendental sound with a pure heart. When the transcendental sound, Vidvat Vritti Vritti, when we hear a word or the name of Krishna, then there is Binangsa Pratima Nanatva. Nanatva means a plurality. Pratima means a semblance. So Binangsa Pratima Nanatva, there is a semblance of duality between the various parts, which is Aikayana Vishishta, characterized by a harmonious, integrated oneness. In other words, the transcendental sound reveals a total reality. It's full of variety, but it's beyond duality. So that is Vidvat Vritti Vritti. Now, one of the characteristics of Vidvat Vritti Vritti is this. If someone hears the name Krishna, then there is no possibility of the mind doing aropa. That means superimposition of bhogya bhav. Bhogya bhav means the mood, and bhogya means something is to be enjoyed. So if a person hears the name Krishna, but at the same time their consciousness holds a conception or projects onto any object in this world that anything can be enjoyed, then they have not heard the name Krishna yet. Understand? Really, try to take it into your heart. Why? Because abhinatvam nama namino. Krishna and Krishna's name are the same. Krishna is Vedanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yat jnanam advayam. Brahmaiti paramatmaiti bhagavaniti shabdate. He is beyond Brahman. Brahman is only light emanating from him. Krishna is the deeper realization. Paramatma is looking at God, but with the upadhi of the material elements. In other words, Vishnu interacts in the Leela of creation. So there's some connection with the material world. But Krishna is sarva upadhi vinirmuktam tat pratvena nirmalam, completely pure. No upadhis in that vision. So because the name of Krishna and him himself are not different, then to hear the name means to be transported into the plane of non-dual consciousness, wherein there's no possibility of bhogya bhav, any smell of a mood to enjoy any object. Only bhaktaram yagyatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suridam sarvabhutamam yatmatmam shantim prachati. Krishna is the only enjoyer. So until that realization is there, that the name has not pierced the ear yet. If we have not experienced this, then we should be very worried that this is a big problem. And with tears in the eyes, oh hey Vaishnava Thakur, oh Vaishnava Thakur, please accept me as your servant. Ekakiyama nahi pai bal harinam sankirtani. Being alone, I have no strength to engage in the praying Nam Sankirtan. So please be merciful to me. Krishna say Toma, Krishna diti pa, Toma na shakati achi. Krishna belongs to you, and you have the power to give him to others. So I am running behind you and crying, Dai Tava Pache Pache. Oh Vaishnav Thakur, please give me Krishna. If upon hearing Hare Krishna, there remains in the consciousness the superimposition of Bhogya Bhav, a spirit of enjoyment towards the external world, then it is understood that Bahutva means, Bahu means many, Bahutva, plurality. Then it's understood that Bahutva has done a vigat. It is attacked. It has pierced our consciousness. It has wounded our heart. Bahutva, duality has wounded the heart. And it has disturbed the experience of Advaita. So, that disturbance of Advaita by the arrival of Bahutva, the sense of plurality, material plurality, that is the definition of Maya Adinata, being subordinate to the external energy. Understand? Maya Adinata. This is Srila Prabhupada's explanation of Mahaprabhu's last instruction. If you love me, chant the name of Krishna and don't speak about anything else. Why? Because without that avesh, without being situated in Advaita and realizing Krishna, then there is Maya Dinata, it's the default setting. To be under the grip of Maya is the default setting. Krishna, Surya Sama, Maya Haya Andaka, Yahan Krishna, Tahan Nahi Maya Dika. Krishna is like the sun. You turn away from the sun, shadow is there. Maya. Now, Prabhupada Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur has made another. It's his 150th anniversary. That's why I'm here and not in India right now. Because every year we celebrate Gaura Purnima in India. But this year, because we had to be there for his appearance early, we performed program early. And that was completed, so we had a chance to be for the first time outside of Navadvip Vrindavan on Gaura Purnima. This is by the arrangement of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. Because we're celebrating his 150th anniversary, as you know. We published just earlier last year, Gaudiya Darshan. I hope. Please. But on his birthday, we offered this as a gift, just as one worships the Ganges with Ganges water. We worship Srila Prabhupada with his own words. It's a new book, Vedic Wisdom Tales. We'll speak about this tomorrow. So Srila Prabhupada, he says, how can we come out from this illusion? As Mahaprabhu told, Prabhu kohe Vaishnav seva nama sankirtan tui karo shigra paveshi Krishna charan. Mahaprabhu said, serve pure Vaishnavas and engage in sankirtan. By this one can quickly attain the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. So, but that service to the pure Vaishnavas should be done with a great honor, with great respect, and some Vishrambha Bhav, intimacy also. What is the disrespect? Prabhupada said, if we think that the chanting of a Mukta Mahapurush is like the chanting of myself, a conditioned soul, then this causes great disturbance. Generally, a person will think, oh, my name is such and such a devotee, and I'm sitting here in Florida, alone in my room. Outside, the world is full of various hostilities. I'm escaping them for some moments to chant. Right? So this is absorption in the ahankar, bodily identification. Where is Advaigyan? Vishwam Purna Sukayate Vidimajendra Jistikitayate Yatkaruna Katakshavagotam Tam Gauram Evastumaha. Purnanda Sazar Thakur said, when one gets the merciful sideline glance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he sees how the world is full of joy. Atmani Vedana Tuapade Kori Hoinu Paramasuki Duka Dure Gelo Chintana Rohilo Jaudike Ananda Deki. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, oh my Lord, since I did Atmanivedana, I gave my heart to you fully. I've become completely joyful. All my worries have gone far away and I only see happiness in all four directions. Bhayam dvitiya abhiniveshatasya. Fear comes from the dvitiya abhinivesh, being absorbed in something other than Krishna. Thinking that anything exists which is a swatantra vastu, that there's any substance independent of Krishna, separate from him at any moment. So, if a person will project, here's a pure devotee, he's chanting Harinam, and think that his Harinam is avyavasai, it is not completely one-pointed into non-dual reality. For him, there's no Maya. Avyavasai, anaikayam. If one thinks that he has various desires or objectives to be fulfilled in the material plane, Bahushaka. If he thinks that his intelligence is many-branched, that means that he's not in ekagrata chitta. When the chitta has become completely still, like Vyasadeva, Bhakti Yogena Manasi Samyak Panihite Malaya Pasipurusham Punam Myanchattara Pashrayam. On the order of Narad Muni, Srila Vyasadeva, he went into Bhakti Yoga Samadhi. He went into trance. Samyak Pranihimate Malay means his chitta was completely restrained, still, completely steady. And in his heart there was the revelation of the whole Srimad Bhagavatam. He was just watching all the pastimes of Sri Krishna. So this is the chanting of the Mukta Mahapurush. It is like that. It's completely different to the experience of the conditioned soul. But as long as the conditioned soul sees a pure Vaishnava, and he's comparing him to his own experience, and not recognizing the exalted position of the Mukta Mahapurush, a liberated soul, then this is the cause of Bhed. It causes his mind to be filled with duality and Brahm Sankul. The mind becomes crowded with many misconceptions, all jostling for position. The mind becomes Brahm Sankul, crowded with Vikalpa, non-correlated thought constructs, imagination, ideas which have no corresponding reality, simply by thinking that the Vaishnava is an ordinary person. Ache Vishnu Shiladi Gurushu Naramati Vaishnava Jati Buddhi. If someone thinks the deity is made of stone, if someone thinks that Guru is a mortal human being, if someone thinks a Vaishnava belongs to any kind of caste in this world, if someone thinks that the name is a Shabda Samanya, a material sound, then all of these persons, Naraki Saha, they have a hellish mentality. They have applied for their passport and visa to go to Narak. So this is the problem. So what is the solution? Honor. To give a great honor to recognize the exalted position of the pure Vaishnavas. And this is why in Upadeshamrita, Rupa Goswami, he gives the essence of all advice. So he's not giving anything superfluous. There's no fluff in Upadeshamrita. There's no filler, there's no padding. It's only the bare bones. The absolute essentials. So the Dadati Pratigranati Goyamakita, how to have loving exchanges with pure devotees. Sat Krishna Nam, Krishna iti yasya giritam manasadriyeta dikshasti chet pranati vistha bhajanta nisham susrusraya bhajana vigyamananyam anya nindadi shunrida mipsita sankalabdya. And it's essential to recognize if someone is chanting Hare Krishna, whether they're initiated or not, we should love them from the core of our heart. We should respect that person, honor them. Oh, he's chanting the name of my Krishna. But if someone has diksha, in the true sense, that means they have realized some bandha gyan, then we must give dandavat pranam to that person. And if someone bhajana vidyam ananya nindari shundaridam ipsita sangalabdya, if someone has the vigya, realization in bhajan, they're chanting Harinam and seeing the Anupam Madhuri Johuri Hamari Sham Shamaki, seeing the Anupama Madhuri, the unprecedented sweetness of Sham and Shama. Sham, Krishna and Shama, Radhika. Mukut, our Chandrika, how Krishna is wearing peacock feather, how Radhika is decorated with the Chandra. Adharpar, Panaki, Lali, they're chewing tumble and the red juice of the tumble is on their lips. Paraspara Meli, Kijaba Bihare, Srivrindavan, Kunjaname. How they are meeting in the beautiful Kunja Vrindavan. If someone is chanting and singing this, Bhajana Vidyam Ananyamani, they have some characteristic Nindari Shunyarita Vipsita Sangalatya. They never criticize anyone. Anyone is good, anyone is bad, they don't care. Only Anupama Madhuri. If you Radha Krishna people, hey, did you hear this person? He's so bad. Vaishnava and Nindikama, Nahi Bodhikani. Savi Krishna Bhajan Kari E Bhattajani, like Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. He said he would never allow any criticism of any devotee to go in his ear. He would cover his ears and say, oh, everyone is doing bhajan except for me. I have to take care of this problem. I don't have time for anything else. So honoring pure devotees. Sususraya bhajana vigyam ananyam anyam nindani shunrudyam ipsita sankalabdya. If we can find a Vaishnava who has realization of Radha and Krishna's service and is characterized by the external symptom of being free from fault finding, then susrusraya means we should try to hear from them and take it into our hearts and try to live our life according to their guidance and instruction. Then we can become free from pain, become free from the Dvaita by Adviti Abhinivesh, absorption in temporary things. Become free from abrams and kul, brahm, all types of misconceptions, and also chant purely and realize the nectar of the name. This is why actually in the life of Madhavendra Puri there are two examples. You know, two disciples are prominent. Among his, Madhavendra Puri Pad has so many disciples. Like Advaita Acharya is a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. Pundarik Vidyanidhi, the Diksha Guru of Gadara Pandit, is a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. Ishwara Puri, the Guru of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. So he has many great disciples. But two have been contrasted, Ishwara Puri Pad and the Ramachandra Puri. When Srila Madhavendra Puri he was having his pastime of becoming old and illness. He was bedridden. He could not move from bed. At that time, Srila Ishwara Puri very lovingly served his Gurudev without any material conception at all. He would change the bed clothing, the soiled bed clothing, and if anyone has taken care of an old person who cannot move anymore. So he served him in his older age very humbly and lovingly. And because of this, Srila Madhavendra Puri blessed him. And so Ishwara Puri, he became Premara Sagar. He became himself an ocean of praying. So this is a fact. If we can serve a Vaishnava, heart and soul, putting aside our own comfort and self-interest, then just by their blessings, Krishna Prema appears in the heart. On the other hand, Ramachandra Puri, he had self-interest, he had selfishness. And when his guru in his final days was crying, I I have not attained Mathur Mandal. I have not attained Krishna. Then, see, Ramachandra Puri, he said, oh, don't lament. Try to fix your mind on Brahman. Brahman is beyond the dualities and happiness and distress of this world. Madhavendra Puri said, get out from here. I don't want to see your sinful face. He sent him away. So because Ramachandra Puri had displeased his Gurudev, then what happened to him? In Chaitanya Charitamrita, say hoite Ishwara Puri Prema Sagar Ramachandra Puri hoile Sarva Nindakar. On the one hand, Ishwara Puri Pad became an ocean of love, and on the other hand, Ramachandra Puri became Sarva Nindakar, critical of everyone. He was always finding faults in everyone, even in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is an illustration in the pastime. We should not criticize Ramachandra Puri ourselves, because actually Ramachandra Puri is the incarnation of Jyotila. So it's Jyotila's position to always find fault with Radhika. So because Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna in the mood of Radharani, so Ramachandra Puri is always coming. So, what is this? Why is there a line of ants going under the door of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's room? He is a sannyasi, but he must be eating sweets secretly. And the ants are coming to pick up the pieces of sugar that drop from his sweets. So like this, Ramachandra Puri became so critical. But this is a pastime, the teaching is for us. We don't criticize him. He's a special person. Jyotila, you are most respectable. Most respectable Parvati. Always try to respect Jyotila. So Mahad Anugra Nigrahero Sakshi Duvidjani E Duvidware Shikala Jagajane. These two persons are the example of Mahad Anugraha and the Mahad Nigraha. The mercy of a devotee and if someone causes displeasure to Gurudev or a pure devotee. This is the result. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his Godruma Kalpatavi, he has said that Madhavendra Puri, he is in Godrum Dweep, in the Namahata, in the marketplace of the holy name of Nityananda Prabhu. You can see when Srinivasacharya, Ramachandra Kaviraj, and Narottam Das Thakur, they came to do parikrama of Navadvip. When Srinivasacharya was sleeping at night, in his dream he saw that there were so many palaces in Mayapur. There were so many chambers in the palace of Jagannath Mishra. Because when he was awake, he saw it was just made of bamboo and grass. But this is a very simple place. But then in his dream, he saw the Galok Tattva of Navadvip. And at first, he saw the Aishwarya of Navadvip at first. And then he saw the Madhurya. And he had the darshan, he saw the Panchatattva in their Sankirtan Vilas. And around the Panchatattva, even though the six Goswamis, they were not in Navadvip Leela as it appeared in this world. But in the eternal Sankirtan Vilas of the Nitya Navadvip, he saw the six Goswamis were there. He saw Ramananda Rai, though he's an associate of Jagannath Puri, he was also there. Swarup Damodar, Prataparudra Maharaj. He saw, even though Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never personally met Madhavendra Puri, he saw that Madhavendra Puri was also there in the Kirtan. In the Sankirtan Vilas of the Panchatattva, in the Nitya Dham. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his Godruma Kalpatavi, he describes the marketplace of the holy name. There, Nityananda Prabhu himself, this is his business, multi-level marketing business. And through so many agents, he's distributing the holy name. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, in this business, I am the sweeper. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is the sweeper. What does that mean? Sweeper means the person who's keeping everything clean. Because in this world, in the Vaishnava association, from time to time, now and then, every day, some contamination seeps in. Some wrong ideas, some deviations come here and there. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, through his preaching, during his manifest pastimes, and also through his books, he's the sweeper. And he makes sure that this marketplace of the holy name is neat and tidy. So he describes there's the chokidara. Also, some persons are chokidaras. When you have some preaching center, every preaching center around the world, this place now, this is just one branch. It's a franchise of the Namahata in Sarabi Kunj, in Godrumturi. That is the main headquarters. So if you have a Namahata, you also need a chokidara. That means if some troublesome person comes, they have to be politely requested to take some prasadam and don't make a disturbance, go outside. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, just like in a marketplace, you have a barber shop also. There's the barber, there's the laundromat, also the dhobi, the washerman, there's a tailor. One might think, what is this? This is a very beautiful analogy. In the marketplace of the holy name, the tailor means that persons come and they have some conditioning in the karma and jnana and yoga and various rituals. So the tailor, each karma, jnana and yoga, these are like garments. And the tailor is the person who knows how to take that person and then sew everything together with the thread of bhakti. Understand? Just like, we have one family here. They have a baby. So now it's time for the baby to have mundan, haircutting ceremony. This is a karma, actually. But Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami in Satkriya Sadipika has given all the descriptions how all the worldly rituals and karmas, they should be performed in such a way that it gives a chance for everyone to be engaged in bhakti, in kirtan, in harikatha, mahaprasadam, sadhu sangha, and so on. So that is the tailor in the Namahata group. In the Namahata group, there's the barber. You know the barber, someone comes, their hair is a mess, they go in the barber shop and then they come out looking all clean and shining. So the position of the barber in the group of devotees, only a very qualified devotee can do this. It's the person who meets someone and that person, they're unclean. They have so many bad habits. They have the unrestrained, disorderly behavior, and their hair is in some wild style. And the barber is the person who very lovingly reaches out to that person and encourages them, and before you know it, they're shaved up and looking like a nice Vaishnava. So in every preaching group, there has to be someone who has this skill. He's called the barber. Then you have also the dhobi, the washerman. Washerman means, sometimes you may fall in a puddle or something and all your clothes become dirty. So then you have to be clean. So in the same way, within the group of devotees in the Namahata, then it may be that a devotee was doing very well, suddenly has a mishap, accident, or goes away even, becomes somewhat contaminated into worldly activities. So the dhobi, the washerman, is that person in the Namahata who, they're not taking the new person and making them clean, but the person who has a mishap and goes away and goes after them and he does the laundry, cleans them up again, and makes them neat and back, keeps them on the path of chanting the holy name again. So all these are the important members of the marketplace of the holy name. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said that Madhavendra Puri is a dalal. Dalal means a broker or a sales agent. That he's going everywhere and he's distributing the holy name himself. So we heard how when he came to Shantipur, he gave initiation to Advaitacharya, and through Advaitacharya, how many millions of people came to the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Madhavendra Puri discovered Gopal Srinathji, then he did Anukut Mahotsav every day, and thousands of people were coming from all the villages and serving Srinathji and engaged in chanting the holy name. So the dalal, the brokers of the holy name, they're very powerful personalities. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said this is the role of Srila Madhavendra Puri Pari. Incidentally, in this marketplace of the holy name, where Madhavendra Puri is a broker, very prominent broker, there has to be some product. In a marketplace, there are different products. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said the products in this marketplace in the holy name are different types of name. Rupa Yukta Nam, the name that causes the manifestation of Krishna's form. Guna Rukta Nam, the name which manifests the qualities. Leela Yukta Nam, the name that manifests his pastimes. The Rasita Nam, the name that manifests rasa. And the Sava Rasa Sikta Nam, the name in which all the rasas are manifest fully. So, there are these different products in the marketplace. How much do they cost? So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, the Rupa Yukta Nam, the name that gives realization of Krishna's form, the price is always faith. But there are different degrees of faith. So the form of Krishna can be purchased by Nishta. In other words, you know there are stages of bhakti, Ados Radha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishta. In the stage of Nishta, with that faith, one can purchase the vision of Sri Krishna's form. Then, he said, the price for the Guna Yukta Nam, all of Krishna's qualities, his gentleness, his humility, his cunning, his genius, his Vidagdata, his artistry in loving pastimes, his parihas vishard, his expertise in joking, sapraya prayasi vasha, his nischintya, his carefreeness, and the way he's controlled by the love of the gopis. All these qualities, they can be purchased by ruchi. When the devotee comes in the stage of ruchi, then he has the guna yuktana. Then, in the stage of asakti, then he, with the faith in the stage of asakti, he can purchase the lila yuktana. When the devotee sees the lila of Krishna, then he becomes not only asakti, attached to chanting Hare Krishna, that is bhajan, but he becomes bhajaniya asakt, attached to Krishna, because Krishna himself, directly, because seeing Krishna's qualities, experiencing his pastimes in the heart is so powerful. It is like Jayati Hridaya Dhamksi Kopi Bhamsa Ninadaha. Kavi Kanapur said, when a person sees Krishna playing his flute, then it is like a snake biting the heart, and it causes extreme deep attachment. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, also in this marketplace, there is a Mekitaka. Mekitaka means counterfeit money. Sometimes someone they try to buy something with the fake bills. So that means, when someone comes to the marketplace of the holy name, but with impure intentions, with ulterior motives, with some worldly motive, and then they receive a name, but even though the giver of the name is giving a pure transcendental name, if a person tries to purchase it with the mekitaka, with the counterfeit money, then it transforms and becomes counterfeit name, and he leaves with the counterfeit name. So you cannot cheat the shopkeeper. It's amazing. And so then that counterfeit name, it will not become Rupa Yukt, Guna Yukt, Lila Yukt, Rasa Yukt. It will not become those things. So, surrender. Hare Krishna. Surrender is necessary. What time does the Harikatha go until?
As long as you like. We're scheduled till 9.
Until 9? Oh, okay. Okay. Otherwise, I'll go off the point and go somewhere else.
Just keep going.
We have to come back to Madhavendra Puri part. Okay. It's not working? No. Is it this? Is it the battery? Hare Krishna. So, Srila Madhavendra Puri, he was sitting, where are we? We're on the bank of Govinda Kund. And he's chanting that Sarva Rasa Sikta Naam, that name which is complete with all rasa, all the pastimes of Radha Krishna manifesting in his heart. He was chanting the holy name. He was not aware whether it was day or night. He was not aware whether he had eaten or not eaten, or for how many days he had not eaten, even. So at that time, he was sitting and chanting for a long time, absorbed in bliss, and after some time, one young boy came to him with a pot, a clay pot of milk, and said, "Hey Puri, I have brought some milk for you. Take this milk." Madhavendra Puri looked up, thought, "Wow, this boy is very sweet, very beautiful. How does he know my name is Puri?" Yeah? So he said, "Who are you?" The boy said, "My name is Gopal, and I live here in this village. In my village, you are fasting, but in my village, no one fasts. Some of the ladies in the village came here to collect water, and they noticed that you were not begging, you were not doing madhukari even." See the exalted position of Madhavendra Puri. The materialist is always wondering, how will I get money, how will I get food? But someone who is renounced, then they do madhukari. They just go and beg a little here and there. But Madhavendra Puri does not even do madhukari. He's just completely absorbed in internal service to Krishna. And if Krishna will, if someone will give something, then so Krishna himself has come. But by the influence of Yoga Maya, Madhavendra Puri did not even recognize him. So then, that Gopal said, "Oh, the lady saw you were not doing madhukari, so they sent me with this milk for you. Please drink it. I'll come back later for the pot." So then, that boy just disappeared, and Madhavendra Puri became chamatkar. He was struck with wonder. But still, by the influence of Yoga Maya, he didn't know who he was. He continued to chant. He drank the milk, and he continued to chant, and then late at night, he began to doze a little bit. And in his dream, he is a chitta, completely pure. So his dreams are all transcendental. There he saw Krishna. And Krishna came and said, "Oh, come with me." And took him by the hand and took him to the side of Govardhan Hill where there was a big thicket, a very dense forest, and said, "I'm here in this thicket and I'm suffering. Sometimes hot, sometimes cold, sometimes itching. I'm very uncomfortable. So I want you to come with the villagers and dig me out and then make a temple on the top of the hill and install me there." And then that boy disappeared. Then Madhavendra Puri woke up and he realized, oh, it was the same boy. It was Krishna himself. He came to me, but I didn't recognize him. So he cried for some time. And then, when the morning came, he went to the village there, near Govinda Kund, and told them what happened. So the villagers came with some tools, and they began to cut through the thickets there. And there they found, very beautiful, Govardhan Basi Savarila Tumapina Rayo Najay Brajala Jaladeti Savarila Tumapina Rayo Najay. Very beautiful. Lal, Nanda Lal, the son of Nanda Maharaj, in his pastime of lifting Govardhan Hill and protecting all the Brijvasis. This form is so beautiful. Actually, Krishna told Madhavendra Puri, "I was established here by Bhadranath.
That means Krishna's own great-grandson. More than 4,000 years before. But when Muslims attacked, then the Pujari hid the deity in the bushes and ran away. So it was a very ancient vigra of Sri Krishna, established by his own great-grandson. So some strong men from the village helped Madhavendra Puri, and they carried the form of Srinathji and set him on the stone on the top of the hill, and they began to do Abhishek. So we call him Gopal, but he's also known as Srinathji, especially in the Vallabh Sampradaya. Why? Because when all the Brajvasis were suffering from the heavy rain and cold winds and hail sent by Indra, then Krishna looked at the Brajvasis and he thought to himself, Tasman mat sharanam gostam man natam mat parigraham gopaye svatma yogena soyante brata ahita. Tasman mat sharanam gostam. These villages have taken complete shelter of me. Man nata. I am their nath. So nath, what does nath mean? Generally we think Lord. But when you see the word nath, you should think Pran. Pran, yes. For example, if you hear the name Gopinath, you should think Gopi Pran. Who is the life? You know your pran? Your pran organizes everything in the body, whether it's any movement or even every thought. It's a movement. Every thought, every emotion, every feeling, every perception is the movement of pran. Without pran, we cannot do anything. So Krishna is Gopinath, that means Gopi Pran. Gopi Paranadana, Madana Manona, Kalya Damanagita. So, Manata, I am the, Krishna said, I am their Pran, Mat Parigraham. I am their family member. Therefore, I must protect them, and he lifted Kiraj Govardhan. This is the outer meaning of the verse. It can be taken another way. Tasman mat sharanam gostam means I cannot live without the Brajvasis. I am in their shelter. I cannot wake up without Mother Yashoda coming in my room and Murata, what are you supposed to eat? They wake me up, they bathe me, they dress me, they feed me. So Tasman mat sharanam gostam, these villages, they are my shelter. Manatam, they are my pran. Radhika is my pran. Dalita Vishaka Chitta Chamakala. They are my pran. Mat Parigraham, they are my family. So this is the Srinathji, the Gopal, he's a Madhurya Vigraha. Namas Vigraha Sarup Tin Ekarup Tin Vednai Tin Chidananda Rup. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, the name of Krishna, the Vigraha, the deity of Krishna, and Krishna's own Swarup in Goloka Vrindavan, these are one. Tin Ekarup. They're not different. The name, the deity, and Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan, they're not three things actually. Tin Ved Nani Tin Chid Anandarup. There is no difference between them. They are all the Sachidananda Vigraha, Sachidananda form of Sri Krishna. So Krishna's Kaviraj was so important. It says, Jaha prema vashi hoya prakata vila seva ankara kari jagatatarila. Who is this Srinathji? He is that person who prakata vila, he was manifest. Why? Jaha prema vashi hoya. Because he was controlled by the love of Madhavendra Puri. This is what, he'd been there for more than 4,000 years. How come he never revealed himself? Because no one like Madhavendra Puri had been there. And when Madhavendra Puri came, then he could not check himself. He had to come and reveal. Even outwardly he came to the pot of milk. And then he came in the dream, and then manifest his vigraha. So this is quite amazing. That though Bhagavan, he is the Parameshwara, supreme controller, he's Sarvashaktiman, he has all power. But he has this quality of a prema vasyata. He's controlled by love, and he's not joking, he's not pretending, he's not playing. This is why Kunti Devi, she prays, the Gopya, the day twai kritad agasi dharmakavad, ta ye dashashu kalyanjana sambramakshi, vaktramni niya bhagavad stitasya, samam vimohati vira apiyad viveti. Kunti Devi, in her trance, she's seeing Krishna. She's saying, oh Krishna, at that time when Mother Yashoda took a rope and you had made some offense by smashing the yogurt pot in the kitchen, she took a rope and she began to bind you. At that time, you were crying and rubbing your eyes and rubbing the kajal from your eyes, and you felt fear of her. Seeing this causes me great bewilderment. Why is Kunti Devi bewildered? Because she's a Dwarka Parikar. She lives in Hastinapur, but she's associated with Dwarkadish Krishna. So she has Aishwarya Gyan. She knows that Krishna is God. So if Krishna were to be bound, if he were to be tied up, if he were to be punished, if he were to show fear, it would just be for show. He will be doing anukaram. Because God is all powerful. He cannot be bound by anyone. He cannot be afraid of anyone. How is that possible? So if he does such a thing, it must be anukaram. But when in her trance she saw the eyes of baby Krishna in Braja, she realized he's not playing. He's really, really afraid. When Mother Yashoda tied that knot and then went to do the work in the kitchen, he really, really couldn't get out. Bibati kochit agyaktaha pitikun manuparakam. Shukadeva Goswami Pad said, sometimes little Krishna, it's not only Mother Yashoda controlling, all the Brijvasis, the elderly ladies used to come and say, Pitikun manuparaka, oh, can you bring your father's sandals? And then baby Krishna would run and pick up Nanda Maharaj's shoes and put them on wooden shoes, put them on his head. And then come running. Especially when his father's returning from the fields, like that. Then very happily he takes his father's shoes on his head and brings them and gives them to his father. Very loving son. So then they say, oh, these shoes are not so heavy. Krishna, can you bring that container, that measuring container? Wooden measuring container. And then Krishna, he runs, and then he gets the measuring container is heavier than the shoes. And he picks up the measuring container and then carries it over to the gopis, elderly gopis, and puts it down, and then see, he lifts it on in the air. Oh, see how strong I am. Then they think, oh, there must be something heavier. Oh, can you bring your father's wooden seat? So like this, the elderly gopis are choosing various items around the house, getting progressively heavier and heavier as Krishna is getting older to see how strong he is. And he's running and doing it. So Shukadeva Goswami says, Darshanta vidam loka atmano krityavasyatam. Krishna has done these pastimes to show to the external devotees, those who are attracted to Aishwarya, like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva and other devatas. They're devotees, but they're aware of his Aishwarya. So Krishna has done this lila to show them, Atmano Vashatam. My near and dear family members in Braja, I am actually controlled by them. Really, I am controlled by them. I am not doing anukaram. I'm not pretending. It's one thing to just hear it. But if you actually, the Shabda Brahma will go in the ear, and one will see how Krishna, though he is all powerful, but he is helpless and controlled by the love of his devotees. Then will bite the heart. This is asakti, deep attachment. Then a person cannot be attached to anything else in this world. So, what to speak of Damodar, baby Krishna being bound by Mother Yashoda, Yashoda Damodar, Radha Damodar is more controlled. Damodar Rati Vardhanaveshe Harinisluta Vrindavineshe. Rupa Goswami said, Damodarati Vardhanavashe. The Shringa of Radharani, how she's decorated by her sakis from head to toe, is so beautiful. That even though it took Madhya Yashoda from early morning until noon, taking many ropes and tying them together before Drishtva Parashmam Krishna Kripaya Sitsabandhane. Krishna, he saw that his mother's face was red and she was perspiring and he felt sorry for her, and then he was bound. So it took a long time. But Damodarati Vardhanaveshi, when Radharani comes beautifully decorated by her sakis, and she just looks at him at once, he's bound. He's bound in the glance of Radharani. Only by her eyes she can make him sit down, stand up and sit down. So Madhya Yashoda can control Krishna, but Radhika controls Krishna more. So then what to speak of the Sakis? The Sakis control Radha and Krishna. I'm telling you the truth. Actually, there are no pastimes of Radha and Krishna. All the pastimes are the pastimes of the Sakis. Yeah. Vibhurapi Sukarupa Swapakashopi Jalpa Shanamapi Navavatta Kachidanyam Asti. Sarayati rasa pushtim chit vibhuti rivesha sriyatina padmasam kasakinam rasakya. Krishna Gaura Purnima said, who will not take shelter of the sakis of Srimati Radharani? If someone is rasakya, they have knowledge of rasa, then they must take shelter of the sakis of Srimati Radhika. Why? Vibhurapi Sukarupa Swapakashopi Jalpa. Radha and Krishna, their sukh, their joy is eternal and unlimited and self-manifest. But Shanamapi Nahirada Krishnayo Yariteswa, without the sakis, Radha and Krishna cannot feel happiness for even 1 second. Chit vibhuti sravayati rasa pushtim chit vibhuti ivesha. Just as Lord Narayan in Vaikuntha is surrounded by his various Aishwarya, his mystic opulences in forms, in their manifested forms. So in the same way, the Sakis of Radhika, Lali, Vishaka, Chitta, Bhaklata, Induleka, Tungavinda, Rangadevi, Sudevi, Rupamanjara, and others, they are the opulences of Radha Krishna's praying. Madhyavaya Saraswati Skanda Koranyas Krishna Lila Manobriti Saki Ashapash. Ramananda Rai said that who are these Sakis? You know, every thought that you have is a chitta vritti. It's a movement of prana in your chitta, every thought. So could you imagine if each one of your thoughts, that every time you have a thought, it manifests outside in a personified form? Yeah? What would that be like? Just imagine right now, you're in this room and all your thoughts are just, they have personified forms and they're running around here and there.
They're a very full room.
Yeah. So Ramananda Rai is saying that Krishna Lila Manobriti Sakya Shabash, that each one of the Manobritis, the thoughts and desires of Radharani, has taken a form. And he's running around here and there, and those are her Sakis. The Sakis are Radhika's desires, manifest outwardly. So the Leelas always, they begin and end with the Sakis. Saki bina e lila pushtina hyai. Saki lila vistariya saki ashwadai. Ramananda Rai said. Saki bina e lila, without the Sakis, these pastimes, they are not so nourished. Without the Sakis, the Leela does not expand, and the Sakis are the relishes of the pastimes. Basically, Radharani is, she's in Yavat, and she's minding her own business, and she's quite filled with the inhibition, but in her heart she wants to meet with Sri Krishna. So that desire manifests as her Sakis. So while she's staying there, the Sakis run off. And they go into the forest and bring a letter to Krishna. So the pastimes always start with the Sakis running and trying to get Krishna and arrange that Krishna will come and meet with Radharani. And they take Radharani. Radharani, no, where are you taking me? And she's objecting. But because of the insistence of the Sakis who are real, she's hiding her feeling. Her real feelings have come in the form of the Sakis. And they're encouraging her to meet with Krishna. And she sits down and Krishna comes there. And just then, on the insist, the Sakis first initiate the Lila. And then the Sakis inspire Radharani to become a little bit favorable towards Sri Krishna because she's very contrary. And then the moment that Radhika becomes a little bit favorable, then Krishna becomes naughty and tries to catch her by the cloth or something. And then, when Sri Krishna begins to play in an outrageous way, then all the Sakis, they all look at each other and express their disapproval. Did you see that? Did you see what he did? Show him. So that's called Saki Ashwadai. They initiate the Lila, they bring Radha and Krishna together, and then they taste the Lila. When they're complaining, when they're expressing their disapproval of Krishna's terrible activity, that's actually why they put Radharani there. Everything in Braj is completely crooked. Don't believe anyone from Braj. They're all liars. From top to bottom. You cannot trust them. Everything in Braj is crooked. So then all the gopis complain, oh, Krishna's behavior is terrible. Lalita Saki brings Radharani and hands her over to Krishna, and just as Krishna goes to embrace her quite forcefully, then Lalita takes the hand of Radhika and pulls her back. Oh, what are you doing? No intelligent person would give a soft, gentle lotus flower to a wild elephant. The lotus flower can be tasted by a very gentle bee, bumblebee. So Krishna, become that. So in this way, Radha and Krishna, they are controlled by the Sakis completely. When the Sakis see that Radha and Krishna are tired, they make them sleep, make them take rest. Do my sabashitilata abhipuni kelo ai. And when the Sakis think of now Radha and Krishna, they've rested and their fatigue is gone, then the Sakis wake them up, come. And then, so in this way, the Sakis are making all the leelas of Radha and Krishna happen. So Saratina Paramasam Kaski Nambrasakya, Brahmananda Rai, he said, what intelligent person would not take shelter of the Sakis? So Krishna is powerful, but he is controlled by the love of Yashoda. He becomes helpless. He is more controlled by Radha and Krishna. He is more controlled by Radhika and the Sakis. He is more controlled by Radhika, and Radha and Krishna themselves are controlled by the Sakis. And among those Sakis, there is one has appeared in this world as Madhavendra Puri. So understand. Therefore in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said, Jaha premae vasha hoya prakata, being controlled by the love of Madhavendra Puri, Srinathji Gopala Piyati. Understand? And not only that, but Seva Angikarakari Jagata Trila, when Madhavendra Puri then engaged the whole world in the service of Krishna, and by that everyone was delivered from material existence. So Madhavendra Puri, he made a very big Annakut festival, and when all the other villages in Braj heard that the village there, Govindakum and Anyor, they made this Annakut festival, we also want to make a festival. And they were all coming and donating cows. After some days, Srinathji had a huge herd of cows and a beautiful temple, and the Annakut Mahotsav, just as at the time of Krishna, the Brijvasis made huge offerings of food at Giriraj Govardhan. So this Annakut Mahotsav was going on every day for months and months. Because of Madhavendra Puri. He is a dalal, he is a broker in the business of Nityananda Prabhu. So giving the pure holy name to everyone. Mahaprabhu explained to his associates in Ramuna that actually there's a pastime connected with this place. That is that after some time, Gopal came in the dream of Madhavendra Puri and said, my body is still hot. And so I want you to go to Jagannath Puri and bring some chandan, sandalwood paste from there, grind it and smear it all over my body, and then I'll feel coolness. Only you can do it. So Madhavendra Puri was very old at that time. But Krishna was testing his brain. Of course he'll pass the test, the brain pariksha. He'll pass the prema pariksha, the examination of brain. He will. But still Krishna is testing him. Why? Because he wants to make an exhibition to the whole world. That the whole world will know how loving is Madhavendra Puri. So in his old age, he set off from Vrindavan on foot, walking 1,000 miles through so many dangerous zones. India wasn't one country then. It was many, many different countries ruled by different kings, and they were at war with each other all the time. Muslim kings, Hindu kings also. Muslim kings were at war with other Hindu kings and with other Muslim kings as well. Hindu kings were at war with other Hindu kings. Even it was always country lifestyle. So he set off on foot. On the way he came to Shantipur. That's when he stayed in Advaitacharya's house and gave diksha to Advaitacharya. And from there he continued south, and he was on his way through Orissa. And before arriving in Puri, he came to the village of Ramuna. And there he came to the temple of Gopinath. Gopi Pran, Gopinath. So there, he was talking with the pujaris, and the pujaris told him that every day we offer 12 pots of kheer. It's called Amrita Kali. It's so delicious, and it's a very famous preparation here. So then Madhavendra Puri was thinking, oh, if only I could taste some of this Amrita Kali, then I could make this preparation for my Gopal at Govardhan. And then he realized, oh, the pots, they haven't been offered yet, but in my mind I thought of tasting them. So I've made an offense. So he said, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu. He watched the arti, after the bhog offering, he watched the arti of Gopinath. And then he left because he was feeling sad. And he went and he sat down alone in an empty marketplace, and he was just chanting there. But later that night, the pujari was asleep, and in his dream, then Gopinath said, oh, you offered 12 pots, but you only took away 11. You did not count them, because I have a hidden one behind my cloth. So I have hidden this for Madhavendra Puri. So now you should take it and give it to him. He's in the marketplace. Then the pujari, he woke up. He woke up from his dream, and he went into the temple room, and he moved the cloth of Gopinath, and there he saw the key was there. He was amazed. And he took the key and he went out into the marketplace, and he was calling, oh, Madhavendra Puri, who is Madhavendra Puri? You are the luckiest person in the whole world. Because Gopinath has kept some key just for you. Madhavendra Puri said, I am Madhavendra Puri. And then the pujari gave him the key. Yaha prema vasahya. You see, why did he do it? Because he's controlled by the brain of Madhavendra Puri. Because Madhavendra Puri is Saki of Radhika. Can control Radha and Krishna both. So then, Madhavendra Puri bought. He tasted that kheer, and he kept the pot. He broke it into pieces and wrapped it in his cloth, so he would eat a little bit of the pot every day as well. He couldn't eat the pot all at once. So he would just have the small crumbs every day. But then he thought, oh, in the morning, the news will spread of what happened, and everyone will come and they'll surround me. So he did not want pratishtha. He did not want any fame. He did not want any recognition in this world. Savachaga papeyaya sarvanatu vastate kuryu pravisturistaya yatnam vaspashne param. In Hari Bhakti Vilas it is said that you can give up your money, your home, your family. You can give up everything. You can give up all anarthas, but there's one anartha that you cannot give up. Pratishta. The desire for recognition. No living entity has the power to do it. It is only by kripa, by mercy, by becoming Vaishnav Das Anudas Anudas, by becoming the servant of a great general in the army of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then by that mercy, then that desire for Pratishtha can be lifted. So in Hari Bhakti Vilas it says, you can give up everything, but you cannot give up this Pratishtha. It is like the stool of a hog. Yatnam maspashne varam. One should make a great endeavor not to touch it. You know, if there's some hog stool, you're walking through in Vrindavan sometimes. So then you're careful to go around it. But if you trip and you're about to fall, then you have to do some gymnastic movements and just try somehow and don't touch it. Yatnam maspashne varam. Make a great endeavor not to touch Pratishtha. So Madhavendra Puri is the example. As soon as that fame, that recognition was to come to him, he just disappeared. He left in the middle of the night. And he went to Jagannath Puri. By the time he arrived in Puri, the news of what happened had already arrived there, and he was a huge celebrity. Why? Because the Vaishnava Pratishtha is aprakrita, supernatural, it's transcendental. If a conditioned soul, they want recognition, but this recognition is the stool of a hog. But the Pratishtha of a pure Vaishnava is transcendental and purifying. So they cannot be imitated. So Madhavendra Puri was very famous, and he told them, oh, Gopal, he wants me to bring the chandan. So the servants of the king, the pujaris at the Jagannath temple, they arranged and they gave him so much sandalwood paste and camphor because you have to grind the camphor with the sandalwood paste. They gave it to him, and from there he set off to go back to Giriraj Govardhan. But on the way, just nearby, he came again to Ramuna, and when he was in Ramuna, then Gopal appeared to him in a dream and said, oh, Gopinath, here, and myself, we are the same. There's no difference. So there's no need to carry all this chandan all the way back to Brajmandal. You can just grind the sandalwood paste and cover me every day and just keep doing that until all this chandan is finished. So then Madhavendra Puri, he began to every day grind the chandan and decorate Gopinath. And Gopal, who was there at Govardhan, he was accepting everything. So then, you know that the samadhi of Madhavendra Puri is there in Ramuna. So he never made it back to Govardhan. He was quite old. But in the ecstasy of Gopal's service in the form of Gopinath, on this day, on this very day that we're celebrating today, he entered into the Nitya Seva of Radha Gopinath. So in his last days, he was always relishing a verse. Ai dina dayadranata hi mathuranata kadava lokshase hridayam tvara loka katanam daita brahmyati kim karomyaham. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he wanted to speak about this verse to his associates. He said, Madhavendra Puri has manifested such beautiful words. These are Radharani's words. But they have manifested from the lips of Srila Madhavendra Puri. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pad said, only 3 persons have tasted this. Radhika herself, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Madhavendra Puri. So how exalted he is. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pad said, just as chandan, when you grind chandan, the more you grind it, the more fragrant it becomes. So in the same way, the more you meditate on this verse, the more rasa comes from the verse. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to utter the verse, he could not even say the whole verse. He just said, Aidin, Aidin, Aidin. The first two words, again and again, and he got up and he began to run around. And he was crying and trembling and rolling on the ground, and he fell unconscious. So what kind of praying is in this verse? If you see the verse on the page, it's static, it's not moving. But actually, just the print on the page is not the verse. The verse is not static, the verse is ecstatic. It is not still. It is a Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it's an ocean of the devotional rasa, the nectar of devotional rasa. So an ocean has many waves. So in this verse of Madhavendra Puri, there are so many waves. Those waves are the Sanchari Bhavs. And these waves have such action. They have Bhav Utpatti. That means the rise of emotion. Bhav Shanti, the falling of the wave of emotion. There's a Bhava Sandhi when two or more emotions mix together like two waves coming from almost the same direction, and then they meet and then they go together. And sometimes there's Bhav Shabalya, that means moods which are contrary to each other. They're like waves coming from opposite directions and they clash. So in this verse, all these activities of divine emotions of Srimati Radhika are expressed there. So first, there is the Bhav Utpatti. This verse expresses Mathur Biraha, the mood of Radhika's separation when Krishna was taken from Nandagaon on the chariot of Akrura and went to Mathura. What condition Radhika was in then? Just outside Nandagaon there is Uddhav Kari. Radhika Bhavata Jai Jai Uddhava Darshane Se Bhavamata Prabhu Roheratidine. It is said for the last 12 years of Mahaprabhu's pastimes, the same mood that Radharani was in when Krishna went to Mathura and she was there in the Kadamba Kandi, and Uddhav arrived and was watching her from a distance. In that madness of love of Radharani, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in that same mood for his last 12 years in this world. And so he was relishing that mood through this verse of Srila Madhavendra Puri. Ai dina dayadana kahe mathural nata kada avlochase. So the first is the first Bhakti. Ai dina. Ai is it's an interjection, it's an expression of great tenderness. If you want to address someone very tenderly, then you don't say hey, or oh, or yo, or whatever. Then you say ai. It's very tender. Ai dina dayadana hey. Oh my Nath. That means oh my Pran. Dina Dayadra, your heart is Dayadra, melting with compassion for Deen, those who are wretched. So here, the bhavs which are rising up, there is the Nirved, the Sanchari Bhakul Nirved, that's Atmaninda, self-criticism. Radharani is criticizing herself as being Deen, wretched, destitute, unfortunate. Vishad. There is the rising of a wave and it's mixing. Vishad means the regret, anutap. In other words, Radhika feels there are so many things I wanted to say to Krishna. There are so many ways in which I wanted to serve Krishna. There are so many things I wanted to do to please Krishna. But alas, I did not do those things and now he's gone. So the nirved, atmaninda, self-criticism, vishad, antap, that is the regret. And dainya bhav. Dainya means atmani ayogya buddhi, considering oneself to be completely unqualified. So Radhika, feeling these three emotions rise up, she called out very tenderly, Ai dina dayadanat, oh my Pran, you are very kind to those who are wretched. So I think that because you always saved us in the past, then you must save us again. You must return to Vrindavan. But then the next moment, the time that the humility was suppressed, and man came with the contrary mood, Irsha, jealousy came, and the Asuya. Asuya means hostility. Gune pi dosha aropana. Even though Krishna has all wonderful attributes, but to superimpose faults upon him is called Asuya. So this superimposition of faults on Krishna, Irsha, jealousy of the young ladies of Mathura, and man, contrariness. This mood came and pushed down the humility and the lamentation. And she said, Mathura nata kadavaloksasi. First, you are deen enough, very kind to the wretched. But now said, no, you are mature enough. Now you have given up your Gopavesh, thinking I am a coward boy, and you are staying there and pretending to be a Kshatriya of the Yadu dynasty. And now you're not associating with simple village girls. You're associating with the princesses from the royal families there, very educated and very sophisticated. Why would you remember us? Kshatriyas are hard because they have to kill, they have to fight. So Kshatriyas are famous for being hard. Even in Harinamamrita Vyakaranam, all the letters, the hard letters, all the hard letters, they called the Yadavas. And the soft letters are called Gopals. Because Kshatriyas are hard and Gopals are soft. So she's saying, because you used to be very soft, but now you're associating with these Kshatriyas. I think that your heart has become hard and merciless. So you'll not return. That Mathura is a strange place. If someone goes there, they forget about their previous life and their previous loves and previous associates. So then, thinking that there was no hope for her, then another Sanjibhav came, Jadya. Jadya means becoming stunned. When a person's, that means their mental vrittis become stunned. In other words, they're thinking, but then they just can't even think. So then Radhika, she becomes stunned for a moment, and she cannot think. The symptoms of Jadya are just becoming silent and blinking the eyes. Ai dina dayadana tahi mathura nata kadavaloksase. And then in between, blinking and silence. Poetry is very wonderful. The poet doesn't write what he wants to say, he writes something else. And what he wants to express is there in the dhvani, in the suggestion. So then, Dhaita, Hridayam Tvara Lokakataram, Hridayam Tvara Lokakataram. My heart is tormented. My heart is tortured not seeing you. What does it mean? Radhika has gone into Mohanakya Mahabhav. Mohanakya Mahabhav is the extreme pain of separation. At that time, Radhika's grief is so intense that she sits on the bank of the Jamuna. Krishna didn't take his flute to Mathura, it was left behind. She has Krishna's flute in her hand and Krishna's Pitambara. He left them behind. And she wraps herself in Krishna's Pitambara and holds his flute and just weeps loudly. And when she cries, even the fish in the Jamunas begin to cry. My heart is breaking without seeing you. Daita. Daita. Now the Sanjay Bhav comes. You know what Daita means? Dat Atmanam iti Daita. That person to whom you have given your heart and who has given you their heart also is your Daita. So Radhika said, oh Daita, my darling. And the Bhav that rose up was Garva. Garva means pride. Pride. How can pride? It was humility before. Then it was hostility and envy. Then it was becoming senseless, like inertia. And then pain, and now pride. Why pride? It comes from pranay. that we are so close, that our bodies are one, our prana is one, our minds are one, our intelligence is one. If I am here feeling pain from you, then you are there feeling pain from me. I cannot give you up, but Gaura is Taita. I know you cannot give me up also. This is the pride. I know you cannot leave. Daita Brahmiti Kim Karomyaham. Kim Karomyaham is, now my beloved, Kim Karomyaham, what should I do? So this is also Sanchari Bhava, it's called Vitarka. Vitarka means arguing with yourself. Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do this? Should I do that? So the Vitarka came as Radharani was considering the options. What should I do? But Kim Karomyaham, when she said, what should I do? She couldn't come up with an answer because the Jadya returned. In other words, when Vitarka comes, there's some calculation what to do. And then when Jadya, the mental inertia comes, the pain is such that she just cannot think. And Jadya, generally, it is the preface to murcha, fainting. And then Kim Karomyaham, silence, blinking, murcha. Then Radhika fainted. What is this fainting? There's a secret. There is a secret of Srimad Bhagavatam. There are many fine points, but we've run out of time, so just one thing. The secret of Srimad Bhagavatam. When Krishna sent a message with Uddhav to Braj-gopis, and also when Braj-gopis met personally with Krishna at Kurukshetra, what did Sri Krishna tell them? Yata mahanti bhutani bhuteshuta vacheshanu pravistana pravistani tateshu nateshankahum. As all the elements enter into everything, but also remain outside. So I am within and without everything. The gopis, when Uddhav read this, they said, is that all? Is there something else? What kind of love letter is this? They were disappointed. But Krishna told Uddhav, read each message 3 times. Uddhav read again. As the elements enter into everything and remain outside. Gopi said, oh, we understand what he's saying. He's saying that when we feel separation, we close our eyes. And we have a spurti. He appears within us. He's outside, but he also appears within us. This is nothing to do with metaphysics. This is not about ontology. It's not about elements. It's just an analogy for praying. As the elements are within and without everything. So Krishna is always with us. In separation, we see him in our hearts, and he's saying, it's really me. I'm with you. Uddhav read the message again. This time, gopis heard something else. Something much more profound. And this is one of the greatest rahasya. Sa rahasya ta'anangancha. Kritam galitam maya. The rahasya of Srimad Bhagavatam. And that is that. They realize, oh no, he's not saying this party is really him. He's saying that when we weep in separation and we faint, then we find ourselves on the bank of Radhakund. Sometimes swinging in Holy Lila. All the Sakis are singing and playing musical instruments, and Radha Krishna is swinging on his swing. Julan Lila. Sometimes throwing colors in Holy Lila. Sometimes jumping into the water of Radhakund and splashing and playing Jalkali in the water. Sometimes we come out and our Sakis dry us and decorate us in pushpavesh, in clothing and ornaments made entirely from flowers. And we sit in a kunj and we play chess or dice. and drink honey wine. This is what happens when the gopis faint in separation. And Krishna said, as the elements enter into everything and remain outside, so I am also within and without. That means outwardly you are seeing this is the Prakat Lila. And inwardly, this is not the Spurti. You are experiencing the Aprakat Lila. The Nitya Lila in the eternal divine realm. And gopis, they catch that for a moment. And they feel complete joy. And they realize, because we tend to see everything backwards because we're looking at the situation from this world. We think, oh, the gopis are here in the Krishna's pastime in Vrindavan. And inwardly, in separation, they experience meeting with him. My Gurudev said when he was young, he went on parikrama in the Himalayas with his guru, Srila Bhaktivedanta and Keshav Goswami. And they were very high in the Himalayas and the Ganges was flowing. And there's very low pressure there. So it will freeze at a much lower temperature. So Gurudev, he said, he went to the Ganges and he put his hand in the water. And the water was so cold, it was burning. It was so cold, it burned. So, just as when something is cold, it's so cold, it actually feels like it's hot. So in the same way, separation, the pain of separation becomes so deep, it turns into the joy of meeting. So generally we think that the gopis, they are in the lila here in this world, and in separation, they experience meeting with Krishna, and that meeting with Krishna is in their bhav. They're meeting with him in their bhav, right? Right? They're meeting with him. No, that's not the message of Bhagavatam. The message of Bhagavatam is they're with him, there in that lila, and this lila of separation here is above in that lila there. Understand? Flip the script. The Srimad Bhagavatam flips the script. That's the rahasya in the message of Sri Krishna. This is why there's so much emphasis on the birha in the Gaudiya Sampradaya. This is why Madhavendra Puri is considered to be the sprout. He is the anchor, the first sprout of the Kevala Madhurya Mai Upasana. The service of Radha and Krishna, which is an extreme sweetness of Madhurya Rasa without the slightest scent of opulence at all. So the reality is that Radha and Krishna always enjoying their beautiful Nitya Lila is going on in Braj, at Govardhan, at Radha Kund, in the midday, in Vrindavan, in the evening, in Seva Kunj, Vamsivat, Nidhuvan. And it's going on. But there in that Lila, sometimes they become lost in separation. And the bhav they experience there is manifest here, and that is the separation Lila in this world. And the background of it is where we are, this world. We're here, it's just still feeling the vibrations from 5,000 years ago. If a devotee will chant really deeply, they will realize the causal ocean will be evaporated and they'll feel themselves incorporated into the eternal love of Radha and Krishna. No material world at all. Once Gurudev asked me a question. He said, Brain, what's the difference between Hamsa and a Paramahamsa? I don't know, Gurudev. Please tell me. He said, a Hamsa is like a swan. He can discriminate between milk and water and milk. If it's mixed, he can separate it. So the person, the Vaishnava who's a Hamsa, he can separate Maya from the Nitya Sattva, the eternal truth. Maya from it, he can separate. He can separate the milk from the water. Then Gurudev, what is a Paramahamsa? Gurudev said, for the Paramahamsa, there is no water, there's only milk. This is the rahasya of Srimad Bhagavatam. You're catching something? Be careful, you go mad. Bandhu Sangha Jari Tavaranga Parihas. If you like your friends, society, your job, and everything, don't listen to her. If one drop will actually go inside, then done the Dharma Vinashta. All dedication to duality is over. And you will leave everything and go to Vrindavan. All your family members will be crying and crying. And in Vrindavan you'll also be crying because where is Krishna? So be very careful. Don't listen to Harikatha. They're not my words, these are Radharani's words. Don't listen to Harikatha, it's very dangerous. But perhaps it's too late. I should have made that disclaimer at the beginning. Never mind. So, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sang this verse, he fainted. Why? Because when Radhika said, Dalita, with great pride, I know you cannot leave me. Kim Karom Yaham, she became judge stunned. Then Radhika fainted. What did she do? She found herself in the Nitya-lila, in the eternal loving pastime. This is the way into the eternal pastimes of Radha Krishna. Well, we have to hold tight to the lotus feet of Guru and Gauranga, and they will take us there. But the person who first revealed it in the world, the glories of separation, was Srila Madhavendra Puri. So Srila Madhavendra Puri Pad ki jai, Tadiya Kirabhakti Baraha Mahotsava ki jai, Nithai Gaur Siddhanath Premanande Hari So we'll be continuing tomorrow morning with Mangalartik, and I invite you all to come if you want to sit and chant japa together. A very sanctified space with full concentration for a few hours in the morning, and then I think Harikatha tomorrow is what, 10:30?
9:30 bhajans.
Yeah, 9:30 bhajans and 10:30 Harikatha.
And then lunch prashad.
Yeah, so I hope that you'll be very kind and give me your darshan tomorrow. And for the rest of this festival. So just now we'll sing the Gaura Arti and Kirtan briefly, and then there'll be Maharashtra for everyone.
There's also Harinam tomorrow, no?
Yeah, that's tomorrow evening.
Harinam?
After the evening program.
Yeah, tomorrow evening there'll be Harinam as well. So tomorrow I want to speak about the new book of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, and especially the subject of the importance of preaching and going out on the Harinam Sankirtan. So just to so we can appreciate what great fortune we have to serve in this mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We'll be discussing this tomorrow. Hare Krishna. So Pujariji, if you can blow the conch, are we ready?
If everyone could slide all the chairs to the side of the room and get all the cloths out of the way as well, everything to the sides of the room. After Arti, we'll have Prashadam inside here as well.
You can put from the arrows if you want. Then you can put your face up.
Jana Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Sisi Guru Gauram Ganga Gadai Sisi Gadai Indriya Prishna Om Nashvara Susman Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Indriya Prishna Om Nashvara Susman Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Indriya Prishna Om Nashvara Susman Gaura Purnima Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Indriya Prishna Om Nashvara Susman Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Indriya Prishna Om Nashvara Susman Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Indriya Prishna Om Nashvara Susman Bhakti Siddhanta Sarvata Guru Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Maharaj Ki Jai Saptam Goswami Satanta Bhakti Lord Ki Jai Vishnu Mishra Jagannath Maharaj Ki Jai Simpanu Gauri Guruvard Ki Jai Jai Sri Rupa Sanatana Bhakti Raghunath Shri Gopal Bhattadas Raghunath Sargoswami Ki Jai Prem Jivos Krishna Chaitanya Bhavanityanand Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavrinda Ki Jai Shri Brajamandala Ki Jai Shri Brajamandala Jagannath Pradam Ki Jai Abhinav Vrindavan Prasina Prima Pradam Ki Jai Sisi Radha Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai Tantra Shrimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Guru Mangal Kari Sri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Nanda Gauri Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai Sankara Bhaktavrinda Ki Jai Sri Madhavendra Puri Bharti Bharti Mahotsav Ki Jai Mangare Sarasat Vrishabhanu Nandini Srimati Radharani Ki Jai Ananta Gauri Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai Sankara Bhaktavrinda Ki Jai Jai Gaura Sitanath Premanande Jai Tulasi Jai Jai Saraswati Jai Krishna Bhakti Jai Panchavalya Durgasta Vasindhu Bhadevacha
Hare Krishna, everyone. Prashad will be in here. So we're asking everyone to sit in rows and we'll serve you Gaudiya Math style.